All right, dude. I think we got it. We are recording right now. I'm just recording from my phone. Hopefully, I don't run out of space.
Oh, good.
Cool, dude. So, thank you again for being willing to do this video testimonial. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, bro.
So, the first thing I want to ask you just can you just introduce yourself so you can tell us your name, how old you are, and what your goals were when you first started working with me?
Yeah. So my name is Brayden Kirk. I'm about to be 18 in like a week. And my goals are really just get stronger over, across the board. I've always kind of been behind whenever it comes to weightlifting, strength aspect. With being an athlete and what I do, that's pretty important. So the idea was to get stronger while also being able to move and stay an athlete.
Gotcha. Let me see if I can. Okay. A little technical difficulty, but all right, we're gonna make it work. All right. So what were you struggling with your training before we got started?
Yeah, so I would say for me, the form aspect, being able to take the coaching and put it in place of actual the working sets and things like that, and being able to find that middle ground on what to do and how to do it. I really had a hard time taking the coaching that I was getting before, which, those coaches were great, not bad coaches at all, but what they were trying to do in the weight room didn't quite make sense with me, didn't click. So whenever we got together, it definitely helped me better my form, and that's one thing that I definitely wanted to work on.
Gotcha. And would you say the reason it worked out better with us working one on one was because you were able to get that personalized training plan and that personalized form correction so that it can work better for you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the one-on-one talks every week definitely helped. That was a big thing for me. Is like I'm a big personal guy, so like I need a good personal connection between me and you to be able to build that basis and like not even it doesn't have to be strictly weightlifting, like athletics and anything like that. Like I know we talked a lot about football and going into Shippensburg and starting right away, like stuff like that. For me, that's big because I need that personal connection, especially with form, like having those talks, trying to show me video or trying to give me examples with the mat, stuff like that was huge.
Excellent. Cool, dude. So how did our training together help you improve?
I mean, my numbers have shot up. I know we haven't talked about this yet. So squat, I hit 380. I'll send you the video. Yeah, I
380.
hit 380. Yeah. So
Yo.
I think my last PR was 335.
Wow.
So that's a huge jump.
I'm
But
I'm shocked at that. That's awesome.
I,
I'm fired up hearing that, dude.
I
380?
knew I knew it was gonna move. Like I felt so good, especially with squat. Like, and you can I'll send you the video once you see it. Like the form has gotten 10 times better. Keeping my chest not down but in line. Excuse me. Oh, his knees. But so obviously that's a huge jump. Adding 10 pounds onto my bench. The hang clean. No, not the hang clean. The pools. The
The trap bar clean
trap
pull.
bar pools. Those are crazy for explosion. I definitely feel like what we've been doing has been working in a great manner, and I can't wait to like further progress with that.
Excellent. Dude, that's exciting. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I can't wait to see the video. So what other kind of progress that you seen with our program? So we talked about the um the strength aspect, but what about from like mindset or confidence or anything else?
Yeah. So one thing that I want to touch on real quick before we get into that, my mobility has gotten 10 times better.
Mm,
I had the injury. We were able to work in some yoga, work in some stretching. That was huge for me because I think that's really the reason that my squat is where it is right now because I'm so more fluent in the motions and things like that. So I just want to say that. And then the mindset aspect, like I'm just more confident, like being able to move heavier weight or move the weight that I know I should be able to, and having that connection to where like if I'm having a bad week or I'm missing a few days, you can get on me and those one-on-one talks and like being able to build that system of support and confidence definitely helped.
excellent, 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 excellent. Um, so let's talk about that accent a little bit. So
Mhm.
I think we was like a month in, and then I think you were in a pretty decent car accident. So what happened?
Yep. So we got hit on the side. I don't know whether it my shoulder got really tight. I had a broken scapula, but it was, it was minor. So they weren't sure if it happened then or during football season, but it was still healing. And I had a lot of pain in my shoulder and in my back, right side. So we really worked around that. We did a really good job at not doing as much like on the shoulder weights, squatting. Like we didn't squat for 2, 3 weeks, and my squat shot up like 50 pounds. Like
Mhm,
that's, being able to work around that stuff, not avoiding bench, but finding different ways to do variations of it, single arm, stuff like that. Like that definitely helped. And it helped build my confidence too, because, in that situation, I kind of felt defeated. I was like, well, where do I go from here? Like I can't lift, so we worked around that a lot.
exactly. Biggest thing, and, I've told you this all the time. It's not about what we can't do. We have to focus on what we can do. So, like, hey, we can't squat, but we can still bench on one side. There's still a bunch of machines that we can do. There's still ways that we can still get stronger, still move that needle. And now,
Yeah.
in the midst of it, you might be like, I don't know. But now, coming at the other end of it, where you squat at 380 relatively easy,
Yeah.
like you see that process. So there's always something that you can do to get better.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes, sir. So what did you kind of already talked about a little bit, but what did you like about the way we work together?
I mean, so the biggest thing for me is like I'm a very motivated person, I would say that, but in the times where, I've had a really busy week, or, I didn't do as well as I wanted to do one day. We are able to talk once per week, maybe even twice per week if I requested. And, you were able to tell me I either gotta lock in or I need to just go with what I'm doing now. Like it's a process. And that's one thing I've always struggled with, is understanding that the process is like part of the journey. So I always hate the fact that, like there are lows, and I think that's one thing you definitely helped me with, is understanding that those lows are just as important as the highs.
Hmm. Excellent, excellent. How did the weekly check-ins and support help you to stay on track?
It was huge because for me, like I'm always busy. So being able to know that, this kind of sounds bad, but like if I don't lift, I'm gonna hear it from you on Thursday or Friday or whenever I call this. So it's like, you know, it's always like a parent. Like I don't want to hear,
Maybe
I
something
don't
like that.
get yelled at. So it is what it is, and that's, if that's how I have to take it, and that gets the job done, then that's what it does.
Yes, sir. I really had to do that much with you, to be honest with you. I really had to be like, "Hey, we gotta get better." You like, "Oh, I know, I got to do this." So, no, I mean, you were good with that though. That was good. So, last two questions. If someone's on the fence about getting a coach, what would you tell them?
I would say that, not even specifically to you, but having a coach in general definitely builds a base of the things that you don't know. For me, like I thought I knew a lot because I've been lifting for 5 years probably, but I didn't know the tip of the iceberg. Like
Hmm.
it's the hardest part is understanding and being able to be like, all right, I may not be as knowledgeable as I am, or like I may, somebody else knows more than me, and taking that jump and getting that person, especially you, like with form, that's where you're gonna get the biggest help from. That's what I think people undermine a lot.
Excellent. And now we're all gonna make it about me. Would you recommend Battalion Strength and Coach Henry to someone just starting out, especially in powerlifting or strength building,
Yeah,
and
one
why?
hundred. I mean, so like we just said, my squat went up like 50 pounds, something in that range. Like it, being able to work with someone one on one is huge, first of all, and then having that form aspect of things, that's the biggest thing for me. I keep going back to it, but you know you have so many different variations of how to work things in, and you're also very understanding when it comes to, this is what I've been taught before. Okay, well, let's just tweak that. We're not, especially if you're a beginning, being able to start off with you building that really solid base, I think would be huge, because for me, like I've been told so many different things through my 6 years 7 years of lifting. So it's, being able to come together with everything that I've learned, and then you adding and, making it correct, definitely help build a good foundation. And I would say that 100%. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time, dude. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir, of course.